Okay, we gotta get going this morning. Let's start at the beginning. I did not see most of your faces yesterday, which means that homework from Friday, I didn't get to see yours yesterday. So if that's you, when I get done rambling, if you want to come show it to me, you can. It was on the back of the 1-5 notes. So let me remind you what that looks like, if I can. You got yours? It's on the back of the, it's fine. It's fine. Why am I talking to myself? Table 5, you're being super quiet. You can add a point. It's on the back of the 1-5 notes. So Mia did a good job. She finished the problems that we didn't go over on Monday. She hadn't had a chance to do the back of the 1-5 notes yet because she wasn't here yesterday and she's not on it today. That's fine. She's going to get this done and show me by the end of class so she can get her points. It was on the back of the 1-5 notes. You only have to do the odds. If you choose to do extra, you will get a bonus. Okay, so I'm not going to walk around and check it. But when I get done rambling and I sit down at my desk, if you have it done and want to come show it to me so I can get your points, that's great. If you were here yesterday, you probably already showed it to me, so you're probably fine. Okay, are there any questions from the 1-5? I have everyone's quiz graded, and I'm gladly going to show you that. I do tests and stuff different than most people. I like to call you up, I guess make you face me. Every group except Table 1 can add a point. Every group except Table 1, they're all winners. Okay, I call you up and I let you look at it and I let you look at my key at the same time. And that way you can see exactly what you did or what you didn't do. And that way if Eduardo thinks there's something wrong, he can ask me. His favorite little cop star can pick on him. He could say, hey, Miss Compton, you took off 2 points for this, but your key has this answer. Because that's happened to me before. Everyone makes mistakes. So just, when you look at it and look at my key, if you have any questions, you can ask me. So I do that one at a time. So you'll get your name called and you'll get to come look at it in the key. I'm also a hoarder. So any quiz or test I keep. Now, if Gracie wants to take a picture of it to send to her mama because she's so proud of herself, that's fine. But I'm going to keep that for physical copy. So I have a file with Gracie's name on it, and I put all Gracie's papers in Gracie's file. That's just how I am. Okay. So the quizzes actually looks pretty good. If I could, when I get done rambling, I'll actually pull up your average. But just looking at the numbers, I mean, I see B, B, A, B, C, A, B, B, A, B, 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 A, B, A. So there's a lot of B's and A's, which is really great because the quiz was on 1-1 through 1-4. That was 4 sections of material. The test on Friday, there's a test on Friday. Just 2 more sections after that. So if you did well on this quiz, as long as you're understanding what we're doing with inequalities, you should do well on this test on Friday. Okay, speaking of the test on Friday. So you've got your math workshop, but also on the way in you picked up the 1-6 notes. On the back of the 1-6 notes is the study guide for the test. If Gracie has free time and wants to work on this throughout class, she can. However, I promise you that I'm going to give you all of class on Thursday. You'll have my entire attention on Thursday. What would be smart of Gracie is to have a majority of it done by Thursday. That way she could just say, hey, can you go over the answers with me? But it's going to be okay if she doesn't. So the study guide, you'll have all of class on Thursday to work on it. I will post the key to it Thursday afternoon. I make people turn in study guides the day of the test, so you will have to turn this in on Friday. If you've had me before, you'll know that I put study guides in the 30% category. So Addison wants to make sure she turns this in. It's going to be a big grade for her. Okay. Last week I was really generous with the points. So most of our grades are super high at the moment because I went a little crazy and a lot of people got over their needed amount every day. I'm not promising that this week your group's actually going to have to participate and do the right thing in order to get your points. Okay. Oh, and I said something wrong the other day, and I need to fix that now. So we are going to have a test on Chapter 1 on Friday. However, I mentioned that there was going to be a perfect squares test coming up. That's not the 25th. The perfect squares test is actually on the 29th. And we'll start going over that right after we go over the math workshop. on Friday, I also gave you a workbook, and if you're looking at that list behind Addison's head, today's assignment is directly from that workbook. So if you've left your workbook at home, you're already in some sort of trouble. You're going to have to start bringing it with you. It's thin. It's not like I'm asking you to carry a giant book around. It's pretty thin. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get everything over with. I'm needing help with number 1. Are there any volunteers? Table 2, you can have a point. Oh, and table 2 can't have the full point. No, never mind, table 2. You got to tell me the answer. Set of numbers. It is 12, which means... Yes, so is it rational, whole, natural, which number? What's the smallest? That's not the smallest. Can someone...
Z.
That's integers. Yes, dear. It's natural. If it's a counting number, you said a lot of things, Natalie. If it's a counting number, then it is a natural number. Now, I'm really glad we're going over these, because to be honest, the thing you miss most, I'm making eye contact with one. She's not even paying attention. The thing we missed most on our quiz from last week was identifying which number system. For some reason, that didn't stick, so we got to get it down this week. Okay, 0.44. It is. What letter do I put for rational?
Q.
It is Q. Table 1 can have a point, but very close. The R is for what? Real numbers. Okay. How do you know it's rational? Can someone explain? Yes, table 6. It is. If it had an X thing, we could guess it. But what's another word for why we know this one's rational? Besides the repetition. It does something. Yes, table 3. 4. Huh? What's the deal with it? How do you know it's rational? Why? Okay, I'm giving myself a point. It terminates. If it's irrational, it doesn't terminate. It does not repeat. Now, he's right. If it had said 0.44 and then ... it would be like he can guess the next part. Or if it had said 0.44 with the bars, you can guess the next part. But no, it stopped, so it was terminating. Okay, I'm looking at number 3. I need help with number 3. Yes, table 2.
It would actually go to negative 45.
Okay. And so what number system do I put it in then? So that's a good guess because so I heard it from table 6, so I'll give table 2 and table 6 a point because table 6 whispered it a long time ago. I know table 1, you were so close. If it's a positive 45, I would have said natural, but since it's a negative 45, it's an integer. Okay, and then we get to 0, and every time you see 0, you should put, everyone can have a point for the whole. Okay, I know you know how to do these because I saw you do this on the test. My general reminder to you is that there are 2 people in the room who are making mistakes when they distribute. Be careful when you distribute that you actually do 5 times Q, yes, but you have to do 5 times 7 as well. And then, I like to distribute the negative, so I would have negative 2R and then plus 16Q. There are a few people who made a sign error on their test because they didn't do negative times negative and get a positive. Yes, ma'am.
Wouldn't it be 30?
Thank you. And your table can have a point. So you let me do exactly what I said not to do. We're supposed to distribute 5 times Q and get 5Q, 5 times 7 and get 35, and I wrote 7, and no one said anything except Paige. Okay, we combine our like terms. We'll have 21Q, and then 35 minus 2 is 33R. Are there any questions on number 5? Okay, then on number 6, if we distribute that negative 9, we'll have negative 54m plus 27. And then we'll also have 6 plus 6 plus 24m. Okay, when I start combining those like terms, I put my m's together and I get
Negative 30m plus 33.
and then the 27 and the 6, I get the 33. Perfect. Okay, are there any questions on these bell ringers? I get that you forgot to do them because you were eclipsing yesterday, but they should be ones that you can handle on your own. If I were you, I'd make sure I went ahead and did, we have to do a lot because I don't want to do any on Friday because we're going to take a test. And today's Tuesday, so we got to knock the rest of them out Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10 tomorrow, and then 11, 12 Thursday, just so you know. Okay, are there any questions about this? Okay, we are going to do something that I don't really like because I don't like it when people yell numbers at me. If your group yells and gets on my nerves, I will take a point away. Everyone understand? Okay. I want to go over perfect squares. I want to go over 0 through 12 today. And then tomorrow we'll add some more. The goal would be to not look at your list. I see people going for their lists. If you need your list, you don't know them, and you need to start studying. Okay. So 0 squared is, 1 squared is, 2 squared is, 3 squared is, 4 squared is, 5 squared is, 6 squared is, 7 squared is, 8 squared is, 9 squared is, 10 squared is, 11 squared is, 12 squared is. Okay, and that was perfect. If you know higher than that, great. We got to be able to go all the way through 25. So if those first 12 were not lickety-split for you, you've got stuff you need to work on. My only suggestion, and it's not to do with that, it just reminds me of the quiz, on a quiz, or on any sort of assessment. When you see something like this, it ends up being negative 12 times negative 12, which is positive 144. I can't tell you how many people would put negative 144. They're not paying attention to those parentheses, are they? Okay, or if there are no questions from the math workshop, then let's go look at your notes. You're going to be so proud of me. We're only going to do 4 problems today. So proud. We're going to do the top 4 problems today, the bottom 4 problems tomorrow, review Thursday, test Friday. Okay, as for those top 4 problems, and before I go any further because I'm forgetting things, on Friday I gave you a math workshop, yes. You had an assignment, yes. You also had a tiny checkpoint. Most people haven't done their tiny checkpoint. When I'm about to stop rambling, you can tell it's all coming to an end. You got to get your tiny checkpoint done too today. So you think it's an easy day, but you have a lot of stuff you kind of forgot about. Okay. Let's see. I need help with number 1. It looks similar to what we did last week, except we've added a word to our learning target. What word have we added? Table 5 can have the point. We've added that word compound. So last week, yes, dear, you don't have this? They're on the podium. These notes are on the podium. We're adding that word compound. Compound. And all that means for us with a compound inequality is that we're going to do 2 things at once, which in life can be rather dangerous. Another thing that's going to break your heart is last week we were in such a hurry we did not graph, but this week we're going to get it together and we are going to graph the solution set on a number line. We are going to graph. Okay, are there any guesses on our first step on number 1? We need to get y all by itself. Table 1 can have a point. We're going to add 7. But you know when you add 7 in life, you're supposed to add it to both sides. Well, now we're trying to do things super complicated. We're going to add it to every side. So we're adding it to that middle, that way it'll go away. But whatever we do in the middle, we have to do on both ends. So we're going to have 15 is less than 3y is less than or equal to 30. Okay, is y by itself? How do I get y by itself? Okay, I heard it from 5 was fastest. She's quiet but fastest. 5, you can have the point. Okay, if we divide by 3, we have to divide everybody by 3. And my final line should read what?
4, 5 less than 5.
Okay, I heard it from table 1 and table 6, right? Or was it him? I thought so. I never know when I hear his voice. Table 1 and table 3 can have a point. Okay. Notice that it started less than on the left. We left it less than, we left it less than. The right side started less than or equal to, we left it less than or equal to. We're not changing anything with the inequalities. What's the only time we get to split the inequality? Okay, and that's perfect. So multiply or divide by a negative, then we get split. So now we get to graph it, which we did not get to last week. I'm going to make me a cute little number line from 5 to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I know my answer is going from 5 to 10. I can read that. But your math teacher, whenever you were learning how to graph inequalities, taught you something about when to fill in the hole and when to not fill in the hole. And does anyone remember that? So which hole should I fill in right now? Okay, and I heard it at least, I think from every group. I'm questioning 6, but I'll give it to them anyway. Every group can add a point. Okay, since it is less than or equal to, that means we're including 10. So we can actually fill in the hole on 10. But since we don't have less than or equal to down here with the 5, I'm not going to color in that hole. However, I am going to try to connect the dots. And this is where me and my pretty colors make everything beautiful. If you don't want to be pretty colorful, you don't have to be. As long as our churro's middle region is a little darker than his outside region, I can tell. Okay, are there any questions about this one? So our solution is any number between 5 and 10. So like 6.5 would work. 7.2 would work. Any number between 5 and 10 would work. So what I'm shading is my way of signifying what numbers are okay. So since we didn't shade in the 5, we're saying 5's not okay. It's not part of our solution set. Okay, you know Miss Compton's a little bit crazy. I want to skip to number 4. What's the first thing I should do on number 4? Add it. I got it from like everyone. I'm not going to give you a point for that. I think you're that good. So if I add 8 to everyone, I will give a point for reading me the whole line. Okay, -6 is what?
Less than or equal to.
Uh-huh.
3A.
Uh-huh. Less than what?
No.
And we'll give it to table 1, but they were struggling there for a second. The 24 part was, I know, it's okay. We'll make sure table 1 can keep that point, because they're going to tell me what I would do next. What would I do next? Okay, they can keep it. Okay, I divided by 3. Everyone got divided by 3. Woohoo. My final answer would read
-2 then equal to x less than 8.
and table 3 got the point.
Now we got to graph.
Now we've got to graph it. I got to go from -2 to 8, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did not leave enough dashes.
I skip on 2.
You can if you want to. That's not a bad idea. And you can add a point for asking that smart question. Unless you're given a number line, your number line can be your own. So if you want to count by 1s, by halves, by 2s, it's up to you. The only part I'm going to be picky on is the shading. Which bubble do I need to shade in? -2 because it's less than or equal to. I am not going to shade in that bubble down there on 8. It looks like I accidentally did because I stink, but I'm not going to. In fact, if you want to, if you do an accident and you can't fix it, you can say not shaded and let me know. And then I'm going to shade in the region between them because, again, like Paige was asking, this answer signifying that, for instance, 3 is an answer because it's between -2 and 8. 5 would be an answer because it's between -2 and 8. We're accepting anything between -2 and 8, but we're not including 8 because it's not less than or equal to. Are there any questions on number 4? Yes, dear. Say it again. Okay, back to the equal to. Since this one has an equal to, we're going to shade it in. That one doesn't, so we don't shade. That's all I'm looking at. If it's got that extra bar, shade it in. If it doesn't, don't. Okay, are there any other questions about that? Then let's go to my favorites. So, no, we're going to leave the absolute values alone for today. We're going to go to number 2. I like the ones that say or. I think they're the most fun. Because really, in an or, we're solving 2 different problems and just pushing them together. So if you only had this problem to solve, the g minus 6 is greater than -11. Wouldn't you add 6 first?
Yes.
So if I add 6, I have g is greater than -5. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at this other problem. First thing I would do with 2g plus 4 is less than -15 is I would subtract 4. So I would have 2g is less than -19. And then g is still not by itself, so I would divide by 2. And I would have g is less than -19 over 2. So it's like I'm solving 2 different problems. But the important word in between them tells me they're together. The or. Yes, dear.
For the other stuff that we did, do we have to bring that down and put or in between?
If you want to bring it down, oh, that's a good question. If you want to bring it down, he wants it to look official so he could circle it and say, this is my final answer. That's not a bad idea. However, am I going to get that from his paper, from his number line? Absolutely. So Seth is being meticulous today. I swear I will. If his number line is legible, I should get it from his number line. Okay, so we're going to make us a number line. And I know I need -5 on it. I'm going to put -4 on it as well. -6, -7, -8, -9, -10. Okay. Where would -19 over 2 fall on the number line?
That's the one.
Where would it fall? Yes, dear. Between 9 and 10. Table 16th point. So it's between 9 and 10. And how does he know that? Because if it had been -20 over 2, you would have said, well, that's -10. If it had been -18 over 2, you would have said that's -9. So it's between 9 and 10. So our first thing is going to be here. And if you want to add in, it's -19 over 2 because you're particular. I understand. And if we were just graphing it by itself, it says g is less than -19 over 2. Which way would you shade when it's less than? Does anyone know which way you're supposed to shade when it's less than? Less than starts with what letter? And so you know which way I'm gonna say then, don't you? Left. So I'm gonna actually shade this way to the left.
Ms. Compton?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, can you please send Barry Hill to Mr. Ferris's office?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so notice how I shaded to the left, but I also bubbled in the arrow, because if you bubble in the arrow, that kind of signifies, hey, it keeps going, but I'm too lazy to make it, my number line keep going. Sorry, baby. I'm too lazy to make my number line keep going. Okay, and then I also have to, so we've got this one graphed right here. I still need to graph this one. So I'm going to go to -5, and I put my bubble. And I'm not filling in either bubble because that's not less than or equal to. That's not greater than or equal to. So I'm leaving my bubbles empty right now. So since it's greater than, which way do I shade?
Right.
To the right. And so any OR problem, you should end up with this weirdo looking graph where you got stuff shaded to the left, stuff shaded to the right, but this big old blank in the middle. It basically looks like the opposite of our past two graphs. The inverse of the past two graphs. What's going on? We're saying anything down here is okay. Anything up here is okay. But those numbers are not in our solution. So -7, not an answer. -8, not an answer. That's what our solution set is symbolizing. It's saying now up here is good, down here is good, but that middle isn't in there. Okay, we've got one more, and it's very similar to this. Very, very similar. So we add 1, and we would have 6y is greater than 18. We divide by 6. We get y is greater than 3. With our other problem, we add 6. We get 8y is less than or equal to -4. You divide by 8. You get y is less than or equal to -4/8, but that reduces to -1/2. Thank you, Arturo. Now, Seth, who's left the room, like all of us has exited the building, was being particular. If you want to bring it down and write it and circle it, I get those people. But again, I'm going to get that Mia gets it from her graph, even if she doesn't bother to go back and write OR. Okay, so I'm going to make me a number line. I know my number line needs to have a 3. I'm going to make it go a little higher too. So 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. I'll make it go from there to there, just for fun. The good news is in your workbook, the number line is given to you. You just have to shade. Okay, so the first one I want to shade is y is greater than 3. So I go to 3, I put my open circle, and then which way do I shade?
Right.
To the right, because it was greater than. So I've done this part, but I've still got to do that other part. It says y is less than or equal to -1/2.
And it's 192. And it's 1.
Shouldn't it be between 0 and 1? Because 1/2, it's not quite 2, 1. So I think -1/2 is here. And Miss Compton stole her own thunder because I was going to say, hey, should I shade it in or not? And I already went and did it. I hate it when I do that. Since it's an equal to, we have to shade in the bubble this time. And we shade the rest of our line. So again, I like ORs because ORs are saying yes down here, yes up there, no to this middle chunk. I think that's exciting. I don't know. I'm weird. Okay, are there any questions about 1 through 4? If you have your workbook and you've already done all the things and you want to work on page 11, 9 through 14, you can. If for some godforsaken reason you left your workbook at home, surely you've got a checkpoint or something you need to pass with me. If I call your name, it's probably to come look at your quiz. If you've got your homework